Howdy folks, welcome back to my World of Tanks replays with the mighty Jingles. Taking the AMX50 100 out again. Because I've spent millions on it. I need to get my money's worth. And you know, it's not that bad a machine. I mean, it's definitely not Tier 8 heavy tank. It's a Tier 8 French tank. It's a very big Tier 8 French tank, and you need to play it as such. It is very much a support tank. It is not an assault tank. It is not a defensive tank. It's there to support other people who are assaulting, other people who are defending. If it had one limitation, it would have to be the reload on that 100mm gun. I mean, it's a good gun, but it shares the same limitations as most of the other French tank guns. The aiming time is absolutely awful, 2.9 seconds. But the big thing is the reload. You're sitting there for over 40 seconds after you fired all 6 shots waiting for that thing to reload. And it's torturous, it really is. And you end up wasting opportunities when there's tanks there just waiting to be killed, and you can't do anything about it because you're sitting there waiting to reload. Not such a problem in the other French tanks because they don't have as long a reload. And you are one of your team's heavy tanks. I mean, this thing doesn't perform like a heavy tank. It can't do the job of a heavy tank, but it's sitting in one of the team's heavy tank slots. And that lengthy reload, it doesn't just hurt you, it hurts your team. Because you're sitting there for 40 odd seconds, unable to contribute to the battle. And you occupy quite a prominent position in your team's order of battle. And that, well, you really need, I think, like I said in my other review, I mean, here we go, look at this. That Hellcat would be dead by now if I was in any other tank. Instead, I've got to wait, load. Now I can kill him. Luckily, his gun was pointing the other way. That was quite funny, actually. Yeah, that fella clearly doesn't have much experience in playing Hellcats. Top tip, it is not a T50-2. It's tempting to treat it as one, but it really isn't. So anyway, 5 shots left. And we're pretty strong on this side of the map. Somebody's shooting at that T44, so I'm in no rush to have them shoot at me as well. And there's the aiming time of that gun. And trust me, if you do not let that gun fully aim in, you will miss. Three shots left. Could go for a reload. Doesn't seem to be anything up here. However, you can still do a lot of damage with 3 shots on this thing. So I'm choosing to not go for a reload, and now we really need to support our team in the middle of town near the capture point, because that's where most of their heavies are. And our guys have done a good job of holding them back and resetting the cap, but they really need our help now. And we've cleared this flank, so I'm going to use those 3 shots rather than go for the reload. And this is how you have to plan your whole game with the AMX50 100. You really have to think ahead. Unfortunately, it doesn't deal with nasty surprises very well. And just watch how, okay, we aim, we fire, we aim, we reload. We still have to carry on aiming. Now on my setup, it's 2.7 seconds for the shells within the magazine to reload, which is pretty damn fast. But it's faster than the aiming time of the gun between shots. So even though you are reloading in 2.7 seconds, you still have to wait. And effectively, if you want to guarantee your hits, it's 3 seconds between shots. Now I know everybody who doesn't drive French tanks is saying, oh, what a shame. You have to wait 3 seconds between shots with your 100mm gun. I know. But that's the only advantage you get in a French tank. You've got low health, you've got no armour. You know, that autoloader gun is the only reason to be driving a French tank. And even with a gun lane drive, and here we're sitting around still waiting for that bloody reload before we can kill this M6. Okay, 5 shots left. I know I have enough health to take easily one more hit from that T-32. and I can kill him with my remaining 3 shots, even if he hits me again. So I'm taking a bit of a calculated risk here, but it pays off. And now there are only 2 tanks left on the enemy team. I'm spending the next 47 seconds reloading. So this is it. It's game over for me now. I can't do anything else at this point. Unless that 3001 H&IS are being driven by Superman and Batman, my contribution to this game is over. But, you know, 3 kills, including one of their Tier 8 heavies, Tier 6 tank destroyer, and, you know, useless M6 heavy tank, as well as damaged a few. Put the fear of God into that Tiger too. I feel like I did my job here. And it is difficult with the AMX50-100 to feel like you're doing your job, because first of all you have to define what your job in this tank is, and it's definitely not heavy tank. You're a support tank. You're an extremely limited support tank, and you need to, well, you need to play it like that. Only risk getting shot at when you know you can kill what's shooting at you and still have enough health left to be able to contribute to the rest of the game. Preferably, you know, you play it like a French tank. You let other people take fire for you. I mean, I let that T-44 go ahead of me because, you know, sorry mate, but you've got better armour than I have. And if they're shooting at you, I can definitely kill whatever is threatening you. But if they start shooting at me, well, you're on your own because I have to get out of there. I cannot take being shot at. You can. And that's the way you need to play the thing. And it, you know, it works out reasonably well. I mean, that was not a fantastic game, but it's one of my better AMX50-100 games. And it worked out as a, what, 1300 XP match, which isn't bad. Out of the 12 shots fired, 11 hit the target. One of the shots aimed at that T-32 missed. Took 2 hits, but I knew I was going to take those 2 hits, and I didn't mind taking those 2 hits, because at that stage of the game, killing that T-32, I could survive it, and he needed to die. Because he was effectively the only real threat the enemy team had left. And we got some base defense points as well, because he happened to be sitting in the cap circle, which is nice. And we actually made money. You shouldn't expect to do that on this tank. It's far too fragile. You're always going to be running up big old repair bills. Well, 4,800 isn't that bad. But we made some money, which you shouldn't expect. You need to consistently win and do well on this tank to actually turn a profit, even with a premium account. But, you know, it's not a terrible tank. You just have to learn how to drive the thing properly and hope you get a good team. Because if you have the weight of the game on your shoulders in this thing, you're not going to do well, unless the enemy team is even worse than yours. So that was the AMX50-100, and I'm having a pretty good game there on Ruinberg in an encounter battle, supported by a good team that allowed me to fight in a support role. And that's where this tank really shines. So I hope you enjoyed the replay. If you have an AMX50-100, I hope you grind through it quickly and get to the AMX50-120 because it's a much better tank. And it's all about that reload speed. So yeah, well, that was the replay. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next time.